creepy and weird. Sluts selling butts, them buttholes done been sold. Dogs breeding like bugs, rabbits are coat hangers. Killers killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 Where'd all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? Wow, killers be killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 Oh. Where'd all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? Wild killers be killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 News.
That's right. It's Nailsin News. Creeps and weirdos being creepy and weird. It's true. It's all so very true. Let me take care of a little business here. There you go. Oh, St. Ranger, first one. Well, hello, St. Ranger. Thanks for showing up for tonight's edition of Nailsin News. And boy, do I got to catch up on this. But, you know, all kinds of things creeping up at the last moment. How are we for time? Nodak, hit the like button. Nodak's correct. You really should hit the like button. You know the drill. You could drill it if you want to call it that. But anyway, hit it. That's good coffee. Anyway, tonight, murder, sex slaves, noise, and a shower. Not a good one. Won't get you clean at all. Yeah. But it's comedy gold. All right. Let's get to it. Everything is messed up. I wanted it in such a good color. Why does it do that? What are you talking about? Well, it's all messed up and out of line, and I don't like that. I want it in order. There will be order. Or I'll just quit. Yeah. Anyway, Toxic JPEG, hello, Toxic Nailsin News with a Z. And then he says, hi to Ranger. All right. This will be the first edition of our stories. Oh, it's showing up. Oh, I get confused because I forget. Now I'm doing this in Rumble Studio. I go back and forth. The next live stream I do will be in EV Mux. That's how I do it. It is. Let me take my camera out, and we'll go with this. Yeah, she's pretty. She sure is. But notice those eyes? Yeah. There's some crazy in there. Yeah. Confessed ex-stalker Hannah Freeman sobs in court as she is not given the promised punishment. She probably thought it would just be a spanking and she was going to, no, it was a bit more serious than that. Yeah. ex-stalker. You mean she doesn't stalk anymore, or was she stalking her ex? Let's find out. Hannah Freeman, a confessed stalker and former fourth grade teacher, burst into tears in a Cuyahoga County, Ohio courtroom on July 17th as she was sentenced to jail and probation for stalking her ex-boyfriend. So she's not an ex-stalker. If she could still stalk him, she probably would. But she's a stalker of an ex. That's the deal. That's the deal. Anyway, after the sentence was read, the courtroom grew tense when Freeman's attorney, Michael Kinlin, objected to the sentence and insisted there had been a prior agreement on the terms. According to Kinlin, there had been an agreed-upon sentence between the defense and prosecution, implying he believed it would involve no jail time, perhaps solely probation, and possibly house arrest. We'll get to this later. Judge David Mattia pushed back, saying no such agreement had been made with the court, and criticized Kinlin for failing to communicate with the bench before the hearing. Your bad practice is not my problem, the judge told him. Instead, Freeman, 27, received a sentence of 7 days in jail, 18 months of probation, 90 days of GPS monitoring, and house arrest with work release privileges. Judge Mattea also ordered her to undergo mental health counseling. Oh, yeah. And imposed a no-contact order with the victim. Freeman, who's not going to be free for 7 days, was visibly emotional as the sentence was read, wiping tears from her face as she stood at the defense table. Oh, that's too bad. Freeman had pled guilty in June to 3 misdemeanors: disorderly conduct, obstructing official business, and possessing criminal tools. Under a deal in which prosecutors dropped several felony charges, including stalking, theft, and identity fraud. Boy, she's really getting a great deal here with those crimes. Her attorney argued that sentencing had been previously negotiated, but the judge made clear that no final terms were approved by the court and that he retained full discretion. Yeah, that's the deal, stupid. You know, the judge has got to go with it. But you didn't even bring it to him. I suppose she could say, hey, my attorney was crap. I need it. But, you know, she's just going to have to do her 7 days. In a statement before sentencing, Freeman expressed remorse and said she regretted letting her emotions influence her behavior. She said she intended to take the necessary steps to move on from the incident. Well, what exactly did she do? Well, prosecutors said Freeman went to her ex-boyfriend's workplace 33 times over 19 days after their breakup in late 2024, despite being told to stay away. She was also accused of taking 2 backpacks from the building, which contained a laptop, wallet, and other items valued at over $1,000. She was arrested in November 2024 and placed on administrative leave from Ranger High-Tech Academy in North Ridgeville, where she taught 4th grade. Her contract expired at the end of the 2024-25 school year. Freeman is expected to begin serving her sentence immediately. She will remain under court supervision during her probation and is barred from contacting the victim. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Hannah Freeman.
Hannah Freeman? Are you supposed to be up here? You are? Were you in his vehicle earlier? No?
Uh-huh.
Well, we went to get dinner together, but
You guys, where'd you guys go get dinner at?
Kings.
King's?
Kings, yeah.
Raising Cane's? Which one?
North Olmsted.
North Olmsted?
Raising
Okay.
Cane's is pretty good.
Well, we got a complaint from him that you were in his vehicle tonight and you're harassing him and stalking him.
What?
I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Did you take some items
Well, yes
from him
or
last
no.
night? Is your phone in the car?
I am. I'm putting it down.
Step over
I'm putting it down.
here. Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Oh, man.
You don't got anything on you that's going to stick hook, anything like that?
No.
Put your hands together like you're praying.
That's too bad, huh? Because, she is cute. But there's the crazy. There it is. And you see that look? That's daggers coming right at you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well. Boyfriend said, go away. She wouldn't. And then she stole some stuff. Yeah, 7 days. Yeah, you got a little spank. That's it. Just a little one. You can save your tears. Come on. Whoops. There we go. Well, after all said and done, she got a little spanky poo, and that's all there is. And still she bitches. Because in the end, she's a bitch. You bitch. Think she'll learn her lesson? Probably not. And can she maintain the deal? She's got to do the 7 days. Once she's out, think she can stay away from boyfriend, not doing it. And then what about the next guy? What if she starts having feelings for one of the correctional officers and stuff like that? And he's like, yeah, but she is hot. And then the next thing he knows, can't get rid of her, I don't know. But maybe it'll all work out in the end. Let's hope, huh? Because, hey, she's pretty. That goes a long way. It sure does. Oh, boy, does it. We all know it. You know it. I know it. American people know it. Nodak salutes everybody. Pell L says, hey, Toxic JPEG, how you been? Pell L says, hey, Nodak and St. Ranger, salute. St. Ranger says, howdy, Toxic JPEG, my sleep schedule is all screwed up. Well, tell me about it. Mine's a mess. But I did get a little nap in between Doomcock Show and this. Took a while to get this together, though. There is that. Anyway, Pam I Am says hi. Hi, Pam. Toxic JPEG, it's in the eyes. It usually is. It's right there, I mean, you're distracted by everything else. I understand. But once you see that look, it's scary. Toxic JPEG says hi, Pam. St. Ranger, Pam is listening, but I don't think she is still reading the chat. She is laying down in a room upstairs from where I am. Oh, okay. Toxic JPEG, I'll be mostly listening as well. Hey, you just can't look at the crazy eyes, huh? Yeah, it's scary. It'll give you nightmares. Pell Toxic JPEG, mine is kind of too. I've been having to get up earlier, so it's broken up. 3 hours here, 4 hours there. And it's physical work, not compert insurance work. So I'm fried, man. Uses to lift weights. Pell to balance out my exercise, but haven't in years, so I'm like a cripple after a day's work. Good Lord. Pell, hello, Pam I Am. Pell, she's cute. She can stalk me. I'd be flattered. Well, I know. You say that. I mean, she really is cute. It's like, good Lord. Wouldn't you want to be bothered by that? Oh, man. And you know the old saying, for every hot woman, there's a man who's had enough of her shit. Just like, her ex-boyfriend. Yeah. God, what if he dumped her for some chubby, And she's like, what? But, after putting up with her crap, and her psychosis and everything, some cute little chubby treats him nice. And she's just nice to him, And he's like, now he's in love. Pell Toxic JPEG, tomorrow is a day off due to the heat. But, man, I'm old and can't work like that anymore. LOL, yes. There is that day that comes upon you. And You can't do what you used to do. Yeah. Pelle, there are so many different people out there, and we have to settle for a local one. I think there is at least one woman, maybe in Ohio or Maine, that will put up with my BS. Okay, well, all right. Well, that is the trick. You find a woman who's nice to you, but can she put up with your crap? That's the next test. Hey, Thompson, Doug, great news. Your mic works. Oh, thank God. Oh, boy. I should have made sure to check. I'm on Rumble, so it usually works here. Yeah, that EV Mux thing is weird. I was working through that. It was this weird thing where I was setting it all up, and in one of the layers, it's fine, and that's the one that plays the super tip. Then you go into the other one, and unless I activate the camera, even though I didn't have the camera on, but it was linked to it, then it would hear it. I guess and I don't see it where it's like it's dependent on the mic going through OBS. I guess. I don't know, because I turned all that off. It should have just been direct. I selected the mic, not the OBS. But anyway, the mystery continues. Toxic JPEG at Pale. I wish I could see the sun. LOL. Yeah. Every now and then I get to see it. Saint Ranger, Doug, can your fans send you anything besides cash? Well, that's one of those things when it's birthdays or Christmas or something like that, and you just don't know what to get. Cash will do. Gift cards, like Toxic JPEG. I don't have a PO box. I guess at some point I'll have to do something like that. Toxic JPEG Compound V. You mean from the boys? Yeah, but it doesn't last, huh? Did they ever get into that? I never did finish the boys. It was kind of getting stupid at the end, but I'll catch up with it and finish it. There's other shows like The Expanse. The Expanse is a great show, but I never finished the final season. I was bummed that they weren't going to continue with it, so I don't know. I was like, damn it. I shouldn't have let that, because it was a pretty good show. But anyway, the point is I got to get back to it. But yeah, I don't know. I think they did touch on the side effects of it instead of just the moral implications and whatnot. I mean, the boys trying to preach morals. Hey, Thompson, Doug, can I send you some llamas? Llamas? What would the cows think? Alan Mannix. Hi, Alan. Does Doug check his super tips? Does that happen? Am I talking? Yeah, I will check them. It's going to be a little difficult through Rumble Studio. In fact, I guess I could test that now. See if that'll work. Otherwise, I'll have to do like a, like a square up thing and say, hey, stand by. I'll switch to EV Mux and put that on there. There, that should do it. So it at least will show up here. It may be that only I hear it, but there is this thingy they call the ingress. The ingress is strange, but there it is. We'll gotta label it each time. Oh, come on, do that. No. Select a that one. Give it a name. OBS. There it is. Now that'll be fine. Got to copy that. Go into OBS. Stand by. I'm getting there. That should have it. There we go. Apply. Okie dokie. And there we are. Well, it's supposed to do it. Yeah. No, I don't need to create it, but where it's not showing up. Does it? Huh. No. guys. Copy and Kurt. Is there just no other way to activate it? It should work. Oh, yeah, you got to do that. Jeez. Well, let's see. Alan J. Mannix for $20. Oh, cool. All right, let's see if it works. And can't hear it. There we go. I don't know that you can hear it or not. Let me play it again. Good Lord, I didn't realize this. I keep forgetting I'm not in EV Monk, so I got to reposition it. Let's see here. Studio. No. And, oh, good Lord. Say goodbye. To that. Well, some people ride cows. I don't ride the cows, but you know. So I don't know if you can hear it. It's supposed to go through, but it's not showing me the selection here. Does it show it that way? No. Like that? Does it show up? No. So I guess I got to go back and get a refresher course on it. But thanks very much, Alan. If necessary, yeah, I'll have to do like a square up on EV Mux and play it there. Why isn't this thing? I have it all set up. It should do it. No, I don't need that. There it is. Waiting for the stream. The stream is on. Oh, that's the deal. But it's on. It is. That's so strange. All right, I'll hit the refresh. Let's see what that does. Well, it still didn't really do anything. Did it change? It didn't change. Copy and insert your RNT. Yeah. Wow, this is going to take further investigation. It interrupts the show, so. Damn it. I don't understand why it didn't work. But it didn't, so. But you can see it. I did hear it. It's hilarious. And yeah, for a second there, though, I said, did I leave the cow? But no. The cows are where they belong if they know what's good for them. Okay, Toxic JPEG worked this morning, huh? Yeah, that was on EV Mux. And I thought, because I did get this to work once, but I guess you got to do it from the beginning or it won't start it. That is bizarre. I don't know. Anyway, LG Mannix, don't worry about it, Doug. They're plotting against me. Well, isn't that the truth? Sam Ranger says, howdy again. Nodak. Prank. Yeah, possibly. All right. Back to the news. Yeah, because, hey, it's what it's all about. Oh yeah, this one. So another crazy broad. Somewhat, maybe not as well. We'll see. This is OBS. Yeah, it is. But again, Alan, thanks for the $20. Greatly appreciated. Come here. There you are. Turn that off. And here she is. She's, she seems in the good spirits, she looks like, she's having a good time. So maybe this will all work out. We have a predator, and she's preying on male victims. Florida woman allegedly followed tourists back to their hotels, pepper sprayed them, and stole their luxury watches. Oh, dear. So anyway, she's been sentenced for allegedly luring men to hotel rooms. I wonder how she lured them to the hotel rooms. Pepper sprayed them and stole their watches. Esther Torres, 20, was originally arrested on 2 counts of robbery in the first degree. 2 underlying incidents occurred in late March. Her case drew to a close earlier this week with a plea agreement on counts of armed robbery, burglary, and grand theft in the 3rd degree. The first incident occurred at the Breakwater Hotel. Listed in the Breakwind Hotel. There, a victim was pepper sprayed before his Hugo Boss watch was taken directly off his wrist. Good Lord, that might have hurt. The perpetrator also stole over $200 in cash and euros, so a foreigner, along with multiple credit cards. The second incident occurred at the Fontaine? Yeah, I guess the Fontaine Bleu Hotel. There, a man was pepper sprayed and his assailant made off with a $22,000 Rolex Submariner. Oh, wow. They got a licensing deal with Marvel to have the Submariner image on a Rolex? Huh. During that second incident, the man claimed to have been rendered temporarily blind by his attacker's use of the chemical weapon. That's a weapon of mass distraction. In each incident, police said Torres was seen on surveillance footage leaving the hotels after the men were relieved of their watches. Well, I don't think they saw it as a relief, especially with that burning crap in their eyes. We have a predator, and she's preying on male victims. Mitch Novick, the owner of the Sherbrooke Hotel, told Miami-based Fox affiliate was in an interview. As investigators contacted Novick to ask for his help with surveillance footage, which the hotelier was more than happy to supply. During someone else's traffic stop, in April, Torres arrived on the scene after the man driving was arrested. Oh, okay. The defendant was identified by her driver's license. She was called to come pick up the vehicle, but police took notes. In May, she was arrested after police confirmed her identity based on an image from a need-to-identify flyer issued by law enforcement. Boy, it's funny. Did she walk into the police station and her picture's on the wall? Hey, wait a minute. You look familiar. Initially, Torres was ordered to be detained without bond. Police later released body-worn camera footage of the arrest, in which a child is heard shouting off screen. Police said Torres had a child in her car at the time of the arrest. Well, that's just great. Great going, Mom. You have no weapons on you, none of that stuff, right? An officer asked in the brief clip, to which Torres replied, No. The defendant is no longer in the jail system after being granted a recognizance bond in late June. She was sentenced to 5 years probation. Look, she assaulted these people. and stole these very expensive watches. But she's kind of pretty, and she's just laughing about it. It was just silly. I didn't really mean nothing. And they thought, look, she's a mother. Come on. I guess that goes a long way, Of course, there could be, just possibly, another problem here. Can you guess what it is? Well, she lured the men to the hotel. How'd she do that? Maybe they're just, look, I want my watch back. I really would rather this not go to trial. I don't want to get into the details. Could be that. So she got a little spanky poo, and that's it. All righty. Back to the chat. Toxic JPEG says, hey Thompson, how do I post the link? The link? The link to this? I mean, you can just go into the URL, copy and paste it wherever you want. Alan J. Mannix, I just wanted to give him some money to wet his whistle. Now look what I've done. Well, look. I wanted it to work, boy, do I love super tips. But I'm just too stupid, I don't know. Time to switch out coffee. This time it's Pepsi Zero. Tonight's program brought to you by Pepsi Zero. That's good Pepsi. But I'll figure it out. I got it to work once. It's not as good as with EV Mux, but the audio always works in your Rumble studio. I never have any problems on that bent. And if I ever get back to just doing drawing videos, I'll probably end up using Rumble Studio more for that. But my rule of thumb is every other live stream is the other one. So next time will be EV Mux and that sort of thing. So anyway, Nodex says, it's okay, Alan. It's all fun. Alan J. Mannix, nobody is stealing my luxury watches. Mine neither. You see, my trick is to not have one at all. How you going to steal what I don't have? Fooled you, bitches. Alan J. Mannix, thanks, Nodak. Pell at Alan J. Mannix, agree with Nodak. Plus, you generated content in another way. Well, yes. Plus, you reminded me about the cows, but I'm pretty sure it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Hey, Thompson, a major contributor to the Who Are These Podcast Circle username podcast Hitman was arrested and confessed to murdering his girlfriend and storing her body in his basement. You've got to be kidding me. Holy crap. His username, Podcast Hitman. Put her body in his basement. And then people noticed, and oh my God. Pell at 8 times. Wow, he's Dabbleverse. I thought he was a random podcaster in the Uninet. Jeez. Alan J. Mannix, thanks, Pell. I appreciate it. Alan J. Mannix, it's like the Rumble chat up in here. I miss the Rumble chat. Well, I'm on Rumble, but most people watch YouTube. That's how it works. I saw something on the Hodge twins, I think, some scenario, but different woman. She'd go on dates, drug the guys, and clean out the jail. Oh, yeah, it's a common thing. And I suspect at least the appearance of prostitution was involved here. But like, what's her face who became a pop star? Oh, damn it. You know, the big ass girl, one of them anyway. That's what she used to do before she became famous. Alan J. Mannix, this is why I don't bang hookers. Well, among other reasons. Alan J. Mannix, that pussy got a hook in it. Ow! Oh, no. Pepsi Zero is good. Used to be Pepsi Max. Max! I drank that until I tried Coke Zero. Now I drink nothing else. All right, well. Alan J. Mannix. Pale watches nowadays are for men to attract women. So if they steal it, who's really to blame? Well, yeah, that does come back to lured to the hotel. Lured? What was the lure? Nodak surely knew Ella. Okay. Jeez. Nodak, Cardi B. Yeah, Cardi B. That's who it was. And yes, she was proud of it and everything, you know. She would lure him in and say, yeah, I'm going to give you some sex. I'll make you feel good. And the next thing you know, they wake up in a puddle of their own puke. And wallet gone and all that. Toxic JPEG, Cardi B, Joey B. I don't know Joey B. Toxic JPEG. Ha! Saint Ranger, I switched from YouTube to Rumble. I see that. You see, in my little chat here, all the YouTube things have the little YouTube logo, but somebody who chats in Rumble, it has the green rumble of Rumble. Toxic JPEG, look at us, bunch of gays. Well, you keep that to yourself. My goodness. All right, there we go. That's it for Esther Torres. Another one deserving of the, being scolded. You bitch. Yeah, it's important. Oh, good Lord, I got a Rumble rant from Cocteau. Only gays on YouTube. Oh, boy. Boy, Cocteau's ass, eh? Dr. JPEG. Oh, yeah, I read that one. Okay, there we go. Oh, and thanks for the Rumble rant. Cocteau. Pele, better than waking up in an ice bath. Yeah, with one kidney gone. Yeah, that thing. Holy crap. One kidney. What if they go ahead and take both? And they're like, welcome to the wonderful world of dialysis. And it could be something like that. You never know. Oh, yeah, that's the one. Okie dokie. Here's one of these weird stories that, well, aren't they all? But I think a powerful lesson is here about feeling sorry for insects. Remember, they're beneath us. I know they're going to inherit the world and everything, but they're beneath us. Anyway. Oh, what did you just do, stupid? Golly. Oh, get it back. Get it back. There we go. Turn off the camera. Jeez. I got to tell you everything. Oh, my God. Woman decides to let spider live. Has instant regret. Gee, I wonder how this turns out. When Taylor Deva Prasad, I guess so, saw a spider in her house, she decided to leave it be. But within hours, that decision left her battling a severe infection in the hospital. Of course, if you want to get an infection, hospital is a good place to find one. Anyway, there was a spider that had crawled through my bedroom window. Devaprasad 29 said, who lives in Fawn Grove, Pennsylvania. And the week prior, me and my husband had a conversation about spiders and how important they are in our ecosystem and our household. So I decided to leave it alone. Well, that's nice. What are the odds that they would have that conversation? And then a week later, this happens, huh? Yeah. Yeah. It's maybe the spider overheard. And that ungrateful bastard bit her. But anyway, it was a decision she quickly came to regret. I then went to bed for the evening, woke up that morning, and had the bite mark on my leg. It was about 6 to 8 hours from seeing the spider to noticing the bite. It was just a black-looking spider. Oh, looked like a normal house spider. At first, she brushed it off. When I first noticed it, I didn't do anything about it. I just thought that it was a spider bite, and it was fine. But the bite worsened rapidly. The next day, it was a little bit more swollen, a little bit more red. The following day, it was even more red, hard to the touch, and very sore. See, she's distressed. Urgent care prescribed antibiotics and sent her home. Went home. 24 hours later, the area continued to grow. I started with a fever, went to the emergency room. Then they gave me another round of antibiotics, sent me home, and then 24 hours later, I went back because at this point, I felt like I had the flu. I had a high fever. I could not move my leg. I could not walk. Yeah, I think that's the more serious part here. By the time she returned to the ER, her condition had deteriorated. I was on the verge of passing out. I actually had to be wheeled into the hospital. It had started to enter my bloodstream. Well, I'm pretty sure it already had by then. But anyway, and they admitted me and had to do a bunch of different antibiotics because nothing was working. It is still unclear what kind of spider caused the bite, described by Devaprasad as a normal-looking black spider. But Pennsylvania is home to several spiders that could cause a bad bite, as opposed to the good ones. The false black spider, or black widow, is black or dark brown and can cause a bite that results in localized pain, redness, and swelling. But does it deaden your legs? I mean, while the northern black widow can also be found in Pennsylvania, glossy black, wow, with red markings. Bites are rare, but can result in serious symptoms, including muscle cramps, nausea, and sweating. So there you go. There's the bite, and it starts out like that, and then all this area is infected, and it's probably going to go even further. And it left a message on her leg and marks a lot. And it's like, you know, welcome to the world of spider venom, bitch, or something. I don't know. Woodhouse hunter spiders and orb weavers. Orb weavers. Sounds like an alien or something. Are also found in the area, though are more colorful. Huh. Painful, but not dangerous. Their bites can also cause localized swelling and itching. So, you know, a bit of a nuisance. But other than that, thankfully, Devraprasad is now recovering. I don't require any more treatment as of right now, but the area is still tender and discolored. But besides that, I'm doing great. After the incident, she shared her spider bite story on TikTok in a video with more than 16 million views since being posted in May. She said, "This is what happens when I decide to let the spider live. Never again. Just you are what? Just a reminder to not let the spider live next time you see one in your house." I know what people think, and they do kill bugs and other stuff like that in their webs and stuff. But what if they kill you? In the comments, people shared their reactions. "This happened to me, and I almost lost my leg," said viewer Sydney High. While Demonabi wrote, "I have never let a spider in my house live." I think my arachnophobia is valid, said Leanne Roberts. Now, Defra Prasad is pleased that her story is helping raise awareness for others. I personally never knew the dangers of what a spider bite can turn into. Okay. And I'm definitely shocked that the video has gone viral at this point, especially since it was posted over a month ago. Yeah. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Does this play? No sound? Good Lord. Look at, oh man. Wait a minute. Go back to that. Oh, damn it. I said there, that. Oh, damn it. Now you're in the way, but you can see, you know. Yeah. Ooh. From a little itsy bitsy spider, you know. Bye. We'll miss you. Good Lord. Is that what the spider wrote on her leg? What a snotty spider, you know. Good Lord. Wow. Jeez. Well, not exactly the TikTok video you wanted to make, but, you know, lesson learned and all that. Yeah. Jeez. That looks, it's almost like he's getting necrotic. Yeah. I wonder if they had to, like, cut some of it off. Yeah. I suppose she hadn't done anything, but oh, well. And then again, it could be the spider was just carrying something, you know. Other spiders, it might not have been so bad, you know. Cool. Look at, yeah, see, it's really spreading. I think, oh, jeez. All right. Well, there we go.
Today, we've released a declassified oversight majority staff report that was produced in September of 2020.
But, you know. Well, we cover all weird stuff, you know, perverts and spider bites and stuff. Well, just remember, they don't belong in your house. They're insects. We're above them. They will inherit the earth eventually. But for now, we're better than them. Never let them in your home. Never. All right. That's a good little ending, I think. Blah, 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 blah. Toxic JPEG. Oh, Doug, we both know you like watching Bruce Wayne's tush in the morning. Yeah, there was naked ass Batman, and I completely forgot to mention that's kind of a well, he didn't get naked in the Quarter of Owls story, but they did lock him in this torture chamber, and it took him like a couple of weeks to get out. And this is kind of similar, except he's naked. Plus all the stuff he had hidden under his skin. And like I said, you know, he had weapons shoved up his ass. Alan J. Mannix, Pale, good point. I think I'll try a hooker now. Yeah, I mean, you could still lose your kidneys from God knows what you might catch, but it'll take a while. It won't be instantaneous. Pale Ale, Toxic JPEG, I used to wonder if I was gay, but realize I'm just extremely pathetic and no one wants me. Like a showless karmic, LOL. Good Lord. Well, that's terrible. I mean, if you were gay, you would be getting laid all the time, you know, at the truck stop and stuff. Cocktail, I bet she never see the spider again. Yeah, the spider probably hightailed it out of there after it wrote its little snotty remark on her leg and all that. I mean, that spider's a piece of shit. God. She's like, I feel bad. I just want to help spiders. So he's like, oh, yeah? Let's see what you think now. And then he leaves a little message on her leg. God. Asshole. Toxic JPEG. Ha ha, that's actually accurate with most LGBT peeps these days. Oh, you mean like most of them aren't really gay. They're just, I don't know what the hell. Isn't that over now? Come on, Jesus. I mean, gay marriage happened and they got it, and the gay lobby's like, oh, fuck, now what do we do? There's no reason for us to ask for money anymore. So they invented LGBTIA plus Q and sometimes Y, all that stuff to grift, Alan J. Mannix, Pell, ha, brutal. St. Ranger, Spider Lady is a moron. Well, yeah, but sometimes you got to learn the hard way. And she did. Pell at Alan J. Mannix, I'm thinking cash transaction. Bring her back nothing to steal in my house. If she wants to steal my credit info, she can help me pay my bills. Well, let me know how that works out. Alan J. Mannix, I like it, but I'd go Bitcoin. Yeah. But she calls it Bitchcoin. Pell Alan J. Mannix, LOL, Karmic fell off hard, but there is always a place in my heart for him. Only difference if some of our actions is I'm self-aware, he isn't. Well, he's drunk all the time. Pell, making fun of Karmic in some cases is making fun of myself without the self-loathing, LOL. Nodak, shame on Spider Alamar. Yeah. Pell, speaking of my vacation or vocation, I guess, chores today, walked in a cobweb from hell in the basement. Instant freak out. I worry I got spider eggs that'll hatch in my ears. It's possible. Could very well happen. I mean, I know you're probably trying to go back to sleep. And now just bringing that up, you're going to be, all the time. But what are you going to do? But yeah, cobwebs, especially in a basement. That spider's long dead. That's what they do. They leave their crap everywhere. They don't clean up after themselves. I mean, but at least it didn't bite you, damn near burn your leg off, and leave some snotty message on your leg and marks a lot. Tess. Oh, Tess. She says, what's up? That's a new app. Cocktoad, that's a rough bite wound. It is, She's like, this is getting worse, isn't it? But they really just here, take this shot and go home. Jeez, get out of here. And, St. Ranger's, spiders in fields on farms can get huge. Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, ever since like the wars and stuff, and the soldiers show the pictures of those crab spiders, God, it's like out of Alien or something. Anyway, really large, and some large spiders on a friend. Oh wait, I have seen some large spiders on a friend's country PT port. Maybe, I don't know. Nodak says Taz. Taz says Nodak. Taz says Mannix. Alvin J. Mannix says, yes, Taz. Taz says, as mine infamously, God, I can't speak, infamously said, bite or spite. St. Ranger, get your filthy furry legs off of me, you damn dirty spider. That would be the planet of the spiders. Because, ironically enough, spiders, roaches, ants, they will inherit the earth. Pell sent a super tip, had to change look to, or took, man, what's this thing? Took to unblock the violent content warning. Yeah, isn't that annoying? The violent content warning. What are you talking about? All right. Well, it's not going to let me do the ingress thing. Why? Why won't you do it? Invite participant. No, I'm not inviting participant. I'm trying to waiting. Why does it say waiting for the stream? See, that's the interesting thing. Weird. You're weird. You're like weird. Well, you're not going to hear it, but we'll see it. So I apologize in advance, but here we go. Oh, it's just a statement one. It doesn't do the sound. Oh yeah, I got that wrong. God, what an idiot. I'm an idiot. Okay. $15. Wow, thank you. Itsy bitsy spider came up the water spout. Out come the bitch. So I took the fucker out. Yeah, there you go. Oh, so you had to use the zero. That's very clever. See? It's not like I went, so I 200K or T00K the fucker out. I don't get that at all. But there we go. Yes, that is the story. In summary, that's exactly what she did. Well, she didn't just take it. Well, she probably didn't take it out, though. You know, it split. It came and did what it wanted to do. Scrawled the crappy message on her leg and all that stuff. And just didn't care. You know, I mean, I know you shouldn't broad brush a whole species like that, but God, what a bitchy spider. Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Pell. Greatly appreciated. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Pell, LOL, Tass, Pell. Hey, Tass, the resident artist. It's too small for my blind eyes. How are you? You ungay? What's it like to be one of the cool people? Pell, LOL, Susan Dolan says, Hail, Susan. Tass says, sends love to Susan. Alan J. Mannix, Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't become a thing already, especially in the world of prostitution. Pell, doing good. I sore from actually physically working this week, realizing how old I'm getting. I realize it every day. Not you, me. Susan Dolan, hail Nodak, Pell says, hail Susan Nodak. Howdy, Susan. Cocteau with another $2 in Rumble Rant. God bless Pell, whose brain is now a spider egg incubator, and God bless all the gays watching on YouTube. Good Lord. Cocteau's got a thing about YouTube. But thanks for the Rumble Rant, Cocteau. Greatly appreciated. And let's all hope Pell pulls through. Spider eggs are a terrible thing. At least this girl didn't have to give birth to spiders. You know? Toxic JPEG. Oh, hi, Tass. Tass says toxic. Tass says Thompson. Hey, Thompson says 7 months in the basement, and who knows what he did with the skin. Oh, my God. Oh, God. 7 months? Man, this is like, it's like Norman Bates, you know? Norman? Alan J. Mannix, good Lord, Thompson. Pell, it's a text tip, so no, yeah, I missed it. It actually shows me in the thing, but, you know, half blind. Yeah, what are you going to do? But anyway, it was a text tip, so no audio. Feel like rubbing your nose in it was appropriate. Okay. Hey, Thompson, lampshade jacket, maybe. Oh, good Lord. Task the resident artist, Pell, skull emoji. Pell, I'd be thinking, bro, thinking, not scheming. Pell, no, the spider took her out. Man, I've been off lately. Making no sense. Oh. Well, he tried to take her out, or she tried to take her out. Whatever. But she survived. Yeah. Susan Dolan, I live in the country and once had a wolf spider sitting on one of my window panels that had leg lengths of 10 to 12 inches long and about 6 or 7 inches width. The body was the size of a man's fist. Well, he didn't let it in, right? Because, don't. Alan J. Mannix, how much for Doug to lean in, raise his eyebrows, and say, Breaking news. I don't know. I wonder how that would work. Let's see. Gotta switch to one. Breaking news. So you just clip that. Oh, well, it's got the chat over it, so I can't reuse it over and over again. Test resident artist Susan. Whoa. They do get big in the country. Pell, good night, Test resident artist. Sweet dreams. Pell, LOL. I didn't see that, Cocteau. Test resident artist. Thank you. You too. Dub, tell Cocteau I said he's gay. Cocteau, you're gay. Toxic JPEG. Ha! Got him. Okay. Well, at least someone got him. I don't know. Anyway, let's take a look at our next story. Oh, boy. Oh, I know. I can't wait either. Here we go. Oh, yeah. And back to Crazy Eyes and all that good stuff. That's where we're going here. Utah mother admits to luring estranged husband to his death in fake self-defense plot with family. Yeah, this story, huh? Well, we've all heard it. Come on. A Utah woman admitted to conspiring to kill her husband with the help of her mother and brother, making the fatal shooting look like an act of self-defense. Catherine Restelli, 37, pled guilty to a reduced count of murder and conspiracy to commit murder for the death of Matthew Restelli, 34, her estranged husband, who was shot dead at her family's residence in American Fork last July. The mother of two, that's great, told the court that she lured her husband to her mother's home on July 12th, 2024, with the promise of reconciling their relationship, telling him he was free to walk into the home unannounced. There's the crazy eyes. They're right there. Oh, yeah. I mean, she's smiling and everything, but oh, boy. And quite the forehead, too. Anyway, there's the unfortunate victim. Yeah. Restelli and her family had set things up in such a way that they would accuse Matthew of breaking into their house, allowing Kevin Ellis, her brother, to shoot him and make a claim of self-defense. Officers who arrived at the scene testified that they found Matthew with a knife in his hand, but its placement seemed unusual and raised doubts about the family's self-defense claim. Police said Matthew was gripping the knife in the wrong direction and that the weapon was in his right hand, despite the fact that he's left-handed. You would think the wife would know. See, the marriage was never meant to be. She didn't really know this man at all. Anyway, and that a bullet wound was centered on the wrist holding the blade. Restelli's mother, Tracy Grist, called 911 after the shooting. But the call from inside the house came minutes after a neighbor had already notified police, setting off more alarm bells. Diane Restelli, Matthew's mother, said her son was concerned after his wife took the kids and family truck, oh boy, to stay with her family in Utah. Yeah. Matthew had agreed to drive from his California residence to American Fork. Okay, next door to American Spoon. To pick up his family because Restelli told him she could not rent a vehicle to come back. Despite promising Matthew that the family would drive back together, police said Restelli had not packed anything for the supposed trip. Restelli had also put a tracking device in Matthew's truck to monitor his arrival and stayed in touch to make sure he would get to the house so her family would be ready to act. Jeez. Grist allegedly prepared the home for the murder, which included covering the living room couch to prevent it from getting bloodstains. You know what? That's the one thing they thought out because, oh my God, what a mess. And she just, she wants the house to look good. And the thought of that being messy, oh my goodness, that was a chief concern. Anyway, along with pleading guilty to reduced count of murder and conspiracy to commit murder, Rastelli was also hit with a felony discharge of a firearm charge. She is set to return to court for her sentencing, where she faces a maximum of life in prison. Ellis and Grist have both been charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder, obstruction of justice, and 2 counts of domestic violence in the presence of a child. Good Lord, the kids were in the room. Ellis, whose trial is expected to start on January 20th, has also been charged with possession of a gun as a restricted person and drug possession. Grist also has a jury trial scheduled to start on January 12th. Well, yeah. Boy, she really wanted that truck, huh? But you can see it in her picture. Crazy eyes. No doubt about it. Yeah. Yeah. Poof. Well, it seems they didn't really plan this out very well, except for wanting to keep the living room neat. Ooh. Oh my God, that's out loud. No, I did that one. Susan Dolan, no, I was already in. Must have squeezed through a head duck. Or it was already in. Okay, so it snuck in there somehow. They're crafty, devils. Cocteau has, I guess, a smiley emoji. Yes. Nodak, the worst part about wolf spiders is at midnight when they howl while I'm watching The Shining. Oh, that is the worst. Especially because they're so small. It's not like, woo, it's like, and it's like, just stop it. But on most nights, they turn back into normal spiders. It's only on a full moon. Alan J. Mannix, oh, Doug said Cocteau was gay. Hey, look, don't kill the messenger. Cocteau, she can fix me. Oh, you mean Crazy Eyes? Look, I know. Crazy, all that. Pretty damn cute, That's what her husband fell for, and she didn't give a crap about him at all. Didn't even know he was left-handed. Had kids with him. What a bitch. Anyway, Thompson, while her remains were kept in the basement, the prosecutor said Lewinsky removed large portions of skin from her back. Are you sure his alias isn't Buffalo Bill? The prosecutor did not explain why this action was taken. He was making a woman suit. Holy shit. You see, this is the thing. You don't know what's out there. More than wolf spiders. Hellel and Susan Dolan, those can be big. You can't kill Douse without making a mess. Well, that's why you put out the plastic sheets everywhere like this family did with their son-in-law. A. Thompson, watch it come out later. He made girl rinds out of her. Oh, my God. Who are these podcast nerds? Are scary. Jeez. Pellel with the CSI tricks. They'd find blood even if you blew the house up. Like in the TV show where they basically have a lab that looks like the bridge of the Enterprise, and there it is. And it's like smaller than an atom. But they found it, damn it. Alan J. Mannix, what about the blood, Thompson? Tell me about the blood. Hey, I'm sure it's in the report, too. Pell out wild eyes, but cute. Yes, I know. Even with the extra forehead. Still bangable, but boy, do you pay a price. Hey, Thompson, I came across a spider big enough to shoot with a .22 rifle once. Turned that spider inside out. I'll bet. All over the floor. Pello, they would have got away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids. Well, see, that's the problem. It's not a good idea to commit murder in front of kids. Hey, Thompson, cocks don't have toes. Pello, ever hear that statement, no skin off my back? Well, that didn't apply there. Oh, my God. Hey, Thompson. Oh, it's old news. It just came out. It was podcast Hitman. Oh, okay. So they never knew it. Eventually they figured out, hey, it's that guy. He was podcast Hitman. And all this time he had his dead girlfriend in his basement. People, huh? Yeah. And here we are being scared of spiders. Oh, we're silly. We're silly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's plenty of things to worry about and be scared of. Chilling video shows illegal immigrants snatching Chinese sex slave who escaped Texas trafficking ring. That's some video. An illegal migrant from Honduras allegedly kept a sex trafficking victim hostage for 5 days without food or water while he beat her and sexually assaulted her. Jose Carcamo, 22, was arrested last Monday after he allegedly held the woman captive when she tried to flee a trafficking ring in Houston, Texas. Chilling ring doorbell camera footage allegedly shows the illegal migrant snatching her off the street and carrying her away as she kicked frantically. Carcamo then locked the woman, who is a Chinese national, in a room inside an East Houston trailer home for 5 days without food or water. She's pretty thin already, but anyway, there he is. She was trying to get away and he grabbed her and, back into the dungeon. The man is also accused of tying her up, punching her, and raping her while she was in captivity. Cops were first alerted to the alleged trafficking ring after receiving a 911 call from a woman screaming for help. A witness reported seeing a woman running down the street before a man snatched her and carried her away. When deputies searched the East Houston trailer home, they found the woman locked inside a closet. The woman said she was transported from New York to Texas for a new masseuse job that promised more cash. But the situation quickly turned dark after her captors confiscated her Chinese passport and moved her into the trailer home. While in captivity, the woman said she was tied up and sexually assaulted by Carcamo on multiple occasions. There's the piece of shit. She said she was a masseuse up in New York. She was offered a position down here in Houston that paid more money, so she was given transportation down here. Someone drove her. She said she spent about 4 or 5 days or so in a car driving down here, said Lieutenant John Klafka, chief of the Adult Special Crimes Unit at the Harris County Sheriff's Office. The Chinese woman was locked in the closet after she attempted to break free. He obviously is not the one that drove her from New York, Klafka said, adding that there are other people involved. I guess this is, look at that piece of crap trailer house. Jeez. The stuff of horror movies. This is a very traumatic event, You're in a foreign country. You were brought from one giant city to another that's halfway across the country, south, and she has no friends, no family. Nobody is here for her. So we've got to do everything we can to ensure that she can trust us, to do our jobs and find the rest of the people that are involved in this. Authorities believe the incident is linked to a larger trafficking ring involving more suspects and victims. Carcamo was arrested on July 14th, my birthday, and charged with aggravated kidnapping, to say the least. The migrant's attorney, here we go. Carcamo maintains complete innocence. Our client, Mr. Jose Carcamo, is shocked by the serious allegations brought forth against him and firmly maintains his complete innocence. He fully expects that the evidence will ultimately clear his name, said his lawyer. The victim is safe and receiving counseling and medical care at an undisclosed location. Well, Carcamo, are you going to be able to explain your DNA? Plus, this scene here, her kicking and screaming and you grabbing her, Yeah. An illegal migrant from Honduras. I wonder how he got in here. Huh. Yeah. But we got to remember, all suspects are innocent until proven guilty. Plus, hey, he wants to be a new American, Hey, Thompson, makes you wonder, where are some of these old chatters? Alan J. Mannix, that's true. I never thought about that. There is no Cocteau. Well, there's cock talons. Alan J. Mannix, we all know about the toe cocks, though. Am I right, Phil? Oh, that. Yeah, well, okay. 8,000 sending super chats and sharing recipes on Discord. LOL, yum, yum. Nodak, way down in Carcamo. A. Thompson, blood splatter was also seen around the basement. Good Lord. There's probably a lot more to that story, but it sounds like it's just going to get worse and worse. Shouldn't read it on a full stomach. Alan J. Mannix. Cocteau, if you're not beating your closet-bound Chinese sex slaves, you're only LARPing as a sex slaver. So it's like in the manual or something. Alan J. Mannix, all right, I'm out. Good to see all you guys. Have a good night. I'm sorry, Alan. I know the Chinese sex slave story was brutal. Nodak, good night, Alan. A. Thompson, Jose. Well, yeah, his name was Jose. Yeah. Huh. Well, what do you know? Ugh, jeez. So many more stories. I don't know if I can go on. But I'm gonna. Boy, I really thought I could get those on. Boy, am I pissed that didn't. Oh, boy, I'm gonna have to revisit that. What the hell is that? Anyway, I can't do it now. I'm live and gotta do this show. Well, here's an idiot. We'll take a look at Mr. Stupid here. Yeah. Man sleeping on the side of I-95 threatens to kill officers who wake him up. And he's upset. He was taking a nap. A Michigan man is accused of threatening the lives of police officers who woke him up from his sleeping place on the side of a major interstate to check on him. Jonathan Pago, 35, was asleep next to the southbound Interstate 95 near North Lake Boulevard in Florida at about 12:30 a.m. when Palm Beach Gardens police officers arrived, according to an arrest warrant. The man was on the western shoulder of the freeway. He was unconscious, breathing, and disheveled in appearance, the court document states. Pago, later identified as Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe of Michigan card. Oh, by his card. Okay, I thought that was his name. Was obviously highly impaired and unaware he was on the side of a freeway. Pago is said to have identified himself by his name and birthday. But when a responding officer asked for more information, the Michigan man became increasingly hostile. "Fuck you," Pago allegedly told the officer when he offered his help. This prompted the officer to take out his taser and aim it at Pago, who is said to have become increasingly hostile, ignored orders not to stand up, and told the officer in a threatening manner not to touch him. Just 5 minutes after arriving, officers restrained Pago and placed him under arrest. Officers found an identification card in Pago's pocket as they drove back to Palm Beach Gardens Police Department. It was at this time that the police allegedly hurled threat after threat. Oh, the man allegedly hurled threat after threat. "No one is going to miss you where you're going," the arrest warrant cites Pago as saying. He also allegedly made mentions about having friends who would do harm to this officer and this officer's family, and made threats against the officer's life. Pago was charged with corruption by threat against a public servant or their family, resisting an officer with violence, and resisting an officer without violence. He was jailed and given $1,000 bond. Odds are he don't have that scratch. Nope. He don't. Well, look, I know when you're, someone wakes you up, you're pretty cranky, you're grumpy and all that, but you can't make death threats over it. But he did. Okay, that did that one. Hey, Thompson, I can't paste the article here. Yeah, well. Hey, Thompson, you should see what the Saudis do to Filipino maids. Hammer and nails. Holy crap. Hey, Thompson, no teachers today? Well, we did have that. The first story was this woman. She was a teacher, but she didn't do the usual thing. She just got busted for theft and stalking her ex-boyfriend. Yeah. And then she got this sweetheart deal and then cried about it. Dumb bitch. Anyway, Pelle, you two scratched my comment about fighting that guy on, since he's an illegal, he has no rights anyway. Well, YouTube's like that. Cocteau, take care, you guys. I hope I can make it for the Jokes Kill stream on Censored tomorrow. Well, we'll see you there, Cocteau. Thanks for showing up for my little show. And thanks for the Rumble Rats. Greatly appreciated. So have a good night. Hey, Thompson, YouTube got like 8 of my commies. Hey, Thompson, YouTube doesn't like the news of one of their super chatters. Yeah, it's not going to allow you to put links in it. I could, but I don't know the story. Pelle, I hate YouTube censorship. Well, yeah. Hey, Thompson, It's real news. This is a crime show. Yeah, well, I don't know it. And I'm not even familiar with Hitman. And lucky me, huh? Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah. You never know who's out there. You never know who's out there and has, their ex-girlfriend's rotting corpse in their basement. And they're cutting the skin. I don't know. A Thompson, shit, I missed it. A female special needs teacher gone wild. My favorite stuff. Well, we'll get to it someday. But now, another guy who was upset about being waking up, Man bothered that early evening door knock, woke him up, immediately shot visitor at the door. Yeah. An angry Kentucky man allegedly opened fire on a person who knocked on his door just before 5 p.m. Sunday, telling police he was bothered by being awakened and immediately started blasting. Michael Rogers, 62, is due in court in Jefferson County on charges of second-degree assault for the evening shooting. He is accused of opening fire on a person he knows who has not been identified, and authorities say Rogers gave a statement after receiving his Miranda rights confirming what happened. Overreacted, Rogers allegedly said about his alleged actions when being interviewed by police. The sexagenarian, 62, allegedly admitted to being angry about the door knocking, which prompted him to brandish a gun and open fire. Cops report that the victim did not pose a threat of any kind to Rogers. It's unclear if anything was said between the two. Okay, Rogers shot the acquaintance in the leg at his apartment in the 9600 block of Westport Road. Officers were called and found the victim bleeding out, which led to a tourniquet being applied. Surgery is said to be required. According to the Herald, a local judge refused to lower Rogers' bond at his arraignment out of concern for others in the community. Well, I guess so. Geez. He was granted a $100,000 bond and is due for another hearing. Well, again, this is similar to a previous story. You just can't, shoot somebody just because they woke you up from a sound sleep. Look, my favorite thing in the world to do these days is sleep. And I hate it when it gets interrupted. I do. But you just can't shoot people. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. A Thompson super chatters, peeling bitches. It's relevant. Pellel, did he open the door and say, Kazada Malong? I can't say it. It's Sopranos, yeah. I don't know. It'd be interesting. The police only gave scant details, So it could have been, yeah. You never know. Well, I mean, somebody knows. But ultimately, he was sound asleep, and he didn't like that. They're banging on his door and all that. So he felt like, hey, I'm the wounded party here. Mom, who didn't think it was the right time to have another child, dumped her newborn in trash where he stayed 3 days before being discovered in garbage truck compactor. A Texas mother is behind bars nearly a year after she gave birth to a baby boy in a shower and dumped him in the trash. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez announced the arrest on Facebook. Catherine Nicole Ennis, 22, is charged with tampering with evidence, namely a human corpse, according to a probable arrest affidavit. Deputies responded on August 14, 2024 to the 13,000 block of Fountain Crest Court in Houston after garbage truck workers spotted the boys decomposing and damaged remains in the compactor. Oh, jeez. As deputies investigated the scene, Ennis walked up to them and admitted she was the mother of the child. She said she began experiencing severe stomach cramps 3 days earlier and entered the shower and ran cold water on herself in an attempt to relieve the discomfort. She then gave birth while in the shower. The boy, who was identified in the affidavit as Jesus Martinez, was alive at birth and began to make some noise. Ennis claimed she then passed out in the shower. When she woke up, she said the boy was not breathing. She said she became frightened and placed the boy inside a trash bag, along with the nightgown she was wearing and the towels she used to clean up the blood in the shower. Ennis then put the boy and the other items into a trash bin in the back of the home. 3 days later, the garbage was picked up as scheduled. Ennis later told investigators that she lives with her boyfriend and 3-year-old son. She said while she and her boyfriend wanted to have more kids, she did not believe it was the right time to have another child. Yeah, so this is where we can conclude all that crap about you passed out and everything is bullshit. You tossed that baby in the trash and walked away, and it died. Yeah. A medical examiner conducted an autopsy which concluded both the cause and manner of death was undetermined. Yeah. The medical examiner said she could not find a biological reason to explain the child's death, as there was no observable deformities or medical issues for the baby. He could not have died by being intentionally drowned or suffocated, or from being placed in the trash bag and dying from the summer heat. Now, come on. Had the baby received medical attention after birth, the medical examiner noted, he could have survived. But you didn't determine the cause of death. I mean, it couldn't have helped being tossed in the trash and left there for 3 days. I mean, I just don't believe for a second that kid died in the bathtub. You know, deputies arrested Ennis and took her to the Harris County Jail, where she remains on a $50,000 bond. Her next court date is scheduled for Wednesday. It was not immediately. Let me guess. They were going to go with, oh, gee, it must have been an accident. Yeah, screw her. Pellel. No, wait. Pellel, did he open the door? Oh, no, I did that one. Pellel, the man, the trash, font kids go in the recycling, sicken myself typing that. I don't know. I'm not understanding that one. A. Thompson, Candace Owen news? Why? Why would it be Candace Owen news? I'm not interested in the French president's, wife. All right. Woman attacked Walmart shopper with a sock filled with rocks before stealing her iPhone and $900 handbag. Whoops, burned your scalp, didn't you? A Tennessee woman who once appeared on a Bravo reality series is out on bond after being charged with aggravated assault at Walmart. Diamond Tankard, 21, was arrested on Saturday and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and theft after an incident at a Walmart supercenter in Antioch, a suburb of Nashville. According to an arrest affidavit reviewed by Law and Crime, Tankard was caught on surveillance cameras inside the store, allegedly attacking another woman on the checkout line. The alleged victim's grandmother, who witnessed the altercation, told police that Tankard used a sock filled with rocks as a weapon. According to the affidavit, police arrived at the Walmart after the assault was reported. The victim alleged that Tankard came from behind while she was at the self-checkout section of the store, grabbed her by the hair, and began to assault her. After the apparent assault, Tankard then allegedly stole the woman's iPhone worth $1,500 and her Louis Vuitton handbag worth $900. Police said the woman had a visible laceration on her forehead above her left eye. The woman's grandmother told police that Tankard allegedly struck her granddaughter with a sock filled with rocks. Tankard, who appeared on the Bravo reality show Thicker Than Water as a child, was identified after police viewed the store's video footage, which was provided by the staff. She was reportedly seen gathering items from the ground that police believed were the stolen items. Tankard then ran from the store. The woman was taken to the hospital and received stitches. Tankard was arrested by the Metro Nashville Police Department and taken into custody, charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and theft. She posted $25,000 bond on the same day. Boy, she really wanted that bag. Yeah. Oh, no, stupid. You got to have that on. Turn this off. Jeez Louise. Turn it off. So this sounds premeditated, huh? She just runs around with a sock full of rocks, you know? So she's, I don't know, wonders, does she know this woman or anything? Or she was just looking for the first Louis Vuitton bag and iPhone. She said, all right, that's the one. Anyway, she got her rocks off in that one. A. Thompson, I can't decide if I should see Fantastic Four this weekend. It seems like it will sour my year. I doubt if it'll sour the whole year. But I don't know. Maybe it's okay. Hey, Thompson, a sock filled with rocks is a great weapon. Well, it is. But it's not to do. It's just not. Law enforcement frowns on that sort of thing. That's why they take you into custody. Mom locks crying 2-year-old in sweltering car for ruining her Smurfs movie experience. Returns to finish the film with her own siblings. She looks stunned that she's been arrested for this. A Florida teenager is accused of leaving her 2-year-old daughter locked up in a hot car with a heat index of 107 degrees, reported at the time, while the young woman watched the new Smurfs movie at a movie theater with her own siblings. Chapura Mariux, 18, is charged with felony child neglect for allegedly leaving her daughter unattended in a 2002 Cadillac Escalade at the Regal Cinema 90 on U.S. Highway 90 in Lake City. Police responded to the scene after witnesses called 911 to report Mariux and were forced to break a window to get access to the child. I applied a window break to the driver's side window after observing the child in the front passenger seat, the officer says. Mariux's daughter was visibly distressed when cops found her inside the woman's vehicle. The child had a flushed, red appearance, was sweating profusely, and was crying in distress, the cop alleges, noting how Mariux's daughter was inside the Escalade for at least 30 minutes. Mariux's arrest report outlines her very nonchalant demeanor as her child was in the locked vehicle. She claimed she accidentally locked her daughter inside the car and acted as though the whole situation wasn't as big a deal as she just stood next to her vehicle. Miriax told police she brought her daughter to see Smurfs with her own brother and sister, and that while they were watching the movie, the child kept crying loudly and caused a disturbance. Mrs. Miriax said that she brought her daughter out to the lobby to keep from disrupting other movie viewers' experience. Cops say Miriax admitted to doing this a few times before eventually leaving her daughter in the Escalade. The temperature was 94 degrees at the time, with the heat index of 107. Miriax's daughter appeared flush, sweating, and crying. An employee at the Regal Cinema allegedly told investigators that Miriax appeared very annoyed with her daughter's crying. She exited the Smurfs, showing periodically to go out and check on the victim, according to the arrest report, before allegedly tasking her siblings with performing the task. After a few trips to Mrs. Miriax going out of her vehicle, the other two individuals that she had come into the cinema with started alternating out on every other trip. So they're all complicit in this. Miriax's husband later claimed in interviews that she had a history of very irrational decision-making when it came to her dealing with their daughter's crying. He accused her of struggling to have patience when it comes to caring for the child and having negative reactions to stress related to being a parent, because she's the kid herself, you know. Our officers acted swiftly to ensure the safety of this young child, said Chief Police Gerald Butler in a statement. Leaving a child unattended in a vehicle under these conditions is unacceptable. We are thankful the child is safe and urge all parents to prioritize the well-being of their children at all times. Miriax is currently being held at the Columbia County Jail on $50,000 bond. She's got that stunned look on her face like, I didn't do it. But you did. Yeah. Jeez. You bitch. Well, Smurf fans, huh? Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, boy. I got to back up. I got to back up. Pell, I acquired a copy of New Superman. Turned off after 10 minutes. Wow. A. Thompson, Pell, exactly. Only reason I sat through it was for the 3D. Susan Dolan at Doug ran across a YouTube video from Egypt. An Egyptian man heard a dog barking at his front door and saw a premature baby on the stoop. Some girl went into labor in an alley and abandoned a baby girl. Well, at least she didn't throw it in the trash, you know? So, points for Egypt, I guess. Pell at A. Thompson, that movie made no sense. I'll try rewatching, but what I saw stunk. A. Thompson, we have a few more IMAX 3D things this year. I think I'll wait to see something else. Well, there you go. A. Thompson, Pell, it was awful. The 3D effect was cool. Those hovering cameras were really cool in 3D. Nodak, did they say how old the daughter was? No, but toddler, I'm guessing. Because they're saying like the mother's underage. I mean, oh boy, there's a whole story there too, you know. Susan Dolan, part 2, the dog discovered the baby, picked it up in its mouth, and put her on the porch and barked until the man opened the door. When dogs are more civilized than people, he called an ambulance and the baby recovered in a hospital. Still, that's a far superior outcome than the other story, you know. Pell and A. Thompson, I'm watching a cam rip, if you know what I mean. If you say the effects are the only good thing, I may no bother watching in that format. A. Thompson, we have Tron, Predator, Predator, Badlands, yeah. Zootropia 2 and Avatar this year. I'll wait to see what Doug says about Fan 4. Yeah, and I'm not all that excited about it because, they've changed things so much. It's kind of lost interest for me. That doesn't mean it won't be an okay film for the overall audience, Hey, Thompson. We already read that one. Anti-derivative Jill. Hello. I am going to bed, but I wanted to say hello, Doug. Well, hello, Jill. Thanks for stopping by. Susan says hi to Jill and good night. And yeah, right. I understand. So have a good night, Jill. Thanks for stopping by. All right. I guess that's it for the movie mom. Let's see. Oh yeah, this funeral guy. Oh, one of these. Did I do the? No, I didn't. Jeez. Funeral home director accused of giving family dirt instead of ashes, now facing child sex abuse charges. Boy, from bad to worse, huh? A Georgia funeral home director facing a lawsuit for allegedly giving a couple an urn full of dirt instead of their dead child's ashes is now staring at criminal charges in a separate manner. Is it separate? Why did he keep the ashes? Stan Henderson, 55, stands accused of 2 counts of computer pornography, child molestation, and 2 counts of aggravated sexual battery. Henderson is also facing 2 counts of enticing a child for indecent purposes and trafficking persons for labor or sexual servitude. Both felonies, along with engaging in a funeral business without a license, which is a misdemeanor. Cops began investigating in June after receiving a tip that Henderson was running a funeral home out of a former bank building without a license. But detectives allegedly discovered something much more nefarious. What an idiot, but yeah. Anyway, a forensic review of electronic devices recovered at the funeral home allegedly uncovered several pornographic images and videos of an underage male on a device. Police did not elaborate on the other allegations. It probably gets worse from there. This case was very complex and was put together with the help of many dedicated agencies and individuals. Adele Police Chief Audie Rose said in a press release. Blah, 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 blah. A lawsuit filed by a Henderson parents, Alexis Taylor and Jalen Matthews of Valdosta. The report lawsuit. Okay, the lawsuit filed in civil court in Henry County remains ongoing, according to court records. The couple's child, Josiah, was born in October 2023 and died about a month later. The boy received various medical treatments at Emory University Hospital after being born with trisomy 18, a rare and fatal genetic condition. The couple and their attorney told Atlanta ABC affiliate WSB that they chose to have the child cremated because they wanted to bring him home. After spending their time in a hospital knowing most likely we would never get to bring him there. When they hired Stan Henderson and Son Funeral Home in Stockbridge to complete their child's cremation, they alleged that it took more than 4 months before they received the urn meant to contain Josiah's remains. When they finally opened it, they discovered it was filled with something else. It does look like some soil that's in there mixed with some other things. The plaintiffs alleged the funeral home defrauded them deliberately. Henderson steadfastly denied the allegations to WSB and called them lies. The TV station reported in January that Henderson's attorneys claimed the urn was filled not with dirt, but someone else's ashes. Well, Georgia's Attorney General's office is also investigating the funeral home. It's unclear if Henderson has obtained an attorney for his criminal case. Well, he'd better get on that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, of course, it's a sick case all around. But what if it's true? Because he says it's the wrong ashes. That's where he messed up. I don't know. Ashes are ashes. Why they would think it's dirt and something else. God forbid what that could be. But what if it was their ashes and they just got it wrong? Then it led to this anyway. But I mean, just the sloppiness of his operation. And then, here comes law enforcement poking around when you've got this whole other thing going on. Dear God. Plus the fact that it was the remains of a child and we find out what he's into. Oof. What a sack of shit. All right. That's why I only. Okay, that's anti-derivative Jill says goodnight. Hey, Thompson Pale, that's why I only see IMAX movies. I will walk out of normal movies. Well, how are you going to walk out of them if you never go to them anymore? See? Hey, Thompson, nothing is good anymore. Everything sucks. Usually, yeah. No, that's a dirty move. You mean putting dirt in the urn? Yeah. It's the least of his crime. Anyway, hey, Thompson, Georgia again? This has happened there dozens of times. Really? About the fake funeral home guys and stuff? Yeah. I remember that guy who would he just dumped all the bodies in the woods or something because his the crematorium broke down and he just didn't want to pay to fix it. I forget how many bodies they found out there. Yeah, jeez. Well, at least they didn't find all this crap, It's got that going for him. Pello at Nodak. LOL. Thanks. Now I don't feel so bad about the baby and the recycling joke. Nodak. Wow. Hey, Thompson, years ago, there was a crematorium in Georgia. There were burying the bodies. Yeah, I'm sure that's the story. Just a mass grave in the back. People were getting dirty. Yes. Jeez. I mean, what was the plan here? It's just, look, I'm just, I'm stretching out the time until I can fix it. I'll make up for it. Nodak, ashes to ashes, dirt to dirt. Well, yeah, true. Pell, another questionable joke. If the person who deceased was of color, maybe he thought he convinced them the ashes would. Okay, yeah. Hey, Thompson, I would have walked out of Superman if it was not 3D. Jeez. I mean, I didn't hate it that much. I got problems with it. But to each their own, Pell, I remember that. Would he steal bones and dump them in the woods? No, the bodies were intact. His crematorium broke and he just didn't want to pay to repair it. So yeah, there was this wooded area in the back of the funeral home and he was just dumping the bodies out there. I forget how many they pulled out of there. Yeah. I guess eventually, the smell and all that. They're like, hey, something's going on back there. Probably some dog, hey, that dog's got a foot in his mouth, not his own. So, bad enough you went through the funeral and all that stuff. You're having to get over it and try to move on and all this stuff. And then, hey, wait a minute. Now you got to go through all that crap again. Yeah. Woman tried framing horse for her mother's deadly bludgeoning. Now she's headed to prison for murder. That's got to be one of the crappiest mugshots I've ever seen. It's just awful. Doesn't matter. I mean, they got her, so it's not like they got her. Have you seen this woman? Oh, look at that. It's already selected for her name. Huh? An upstate New York woman is headed to prison after she tried to frame a horse for her mother's murder. Reportedly going so far as to get an equestrian expert to testify at her trial that horses, by nature, can cause harm to human life if they choose to in their own way. Good Lord. Ariella Thran, 33 of Fulton, was sentenced last week to 25 years to life in prison for the murder of her mom, Patricia Allison Halverson, in December 2023 at Halverson's home in Solon, according to the Cortland County District Attorney. Halverson's body was discovered near a piece of farming equipment exposed to the elements, which bolstered Thran's horse claims and arguments in court, along with police not finding a murder weapon. Solon is located in the central part of the Empire State, around 150 miles west of Albany. Thran's story centered around the fact that there were no visible fence structures on the property that would prevent the horses from accessing the area where Halverson's body was found. According to Adam V. D'Agostino, director of the equestrian program at Alfred University, who reportedly testified during Tran's 8-day trial in March on the defense's behalf. The horses could roam loose on the property, D'Agostino said, according to the Cortland Standard newspaper. I do not feel the consistent industry practices were used on the farm, particularly with the stallions, told the court. D'Agostino claimed that while he didn't know Halverson horses on an individual basis and didn't visit the farm, he believed the animals were capable of causing fatal injuries by kicking, stomping, or trampling Halverson. Those natural behaviors could produce very aggressive behavior, D'Agostino testified. A pathologist testifying for the prosecution said Halverson suffered 16 cuts on the left side and back of her head, a cut on the right side of her forehead, and a bruise on her left eyelid. The expert told the court her injuries were not consistent with ones a horse would cause. See, they weren't horseshoe-shaped. You understand? Thran was facing a minimum of 10 years to life in prison and a maximum of 25 years to life for second-degree murder before her sentencing. This was a sad case, said lead prosecutor Richard Von Donsel in a March statement. The breakdown of a family like this is tragic. It's not a tragedy when it's deliberate murder. Tragedy is something you're doomed no matter what you do. But I understand it's just a pet peeve of mine. Cortland County District Attorney Patrick Perfetti said while it was largely a circumstantial evidence case, all signs pointed to Thran. This was a particularly challenging case, as no murder weapon was able to be recovered in the investigation, Perfetti recounted in a statement after Thran's conviction. Significantly, some of the most compelling proof was digital evidence and its timing. Such as, nope. Well, maybe she didn't do it. I don't know. But a horse is a horse, of course. And when you piss them off, they can kill, you know. But I guess when they put Mr. Ed on the stand, I didn't do it, no. And that was it. That just leaves you, Miss Thran. What do you say to that? And that was it. A. Thompson. It broke for like a decade. It was hundreds of bodies. Nodak, that mugshot looks like a mid-90s driver's license photo. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know why they don't have an update. All these people committing crimes are young tonight. Either that or I'm just getting old. Sometimes it's both. Anti-derivative Jill. That old cliche. Instead of the dog ate my homework, the horse bludgeoned my mother. Yes. And the police. Oh, really? That old line. Yeah, fella. The old gag. A. Thompson, I believe that lady. A horse could have done it. Well, again, medical examiner disagrees because the wounds were not consistent with horseshoe size shapes, So if you had something like that, then the horse did it. But the guy said there's horses roaming around out there, So which one? Got to check all the hooves, see if there's any blood, all that sort of stuff, That could take a while, So they just figured, she probably did it. Plus, keep in mind the article's very short and not a lot of detail. Could they have had a history of fighting over whatever, Anyway, A. Thompson, horse will bite the shit out of you also. Susan Nolan, Doug, did you see John Wick 3? Oh, geez, it jumped. Wick killed 2 assassins with a carriage horse's kick. Well, yeah, I know. The horses they're very powerful animals. They can kill. But again, it's not a great article. There's not a lot there, And he said, well, it's circumstantial. I'm like, might have to be revisited, Hey, Thompson, I've seen a horse chase down a woman just to bite her. Bit the hell out of her for no reason. Yeah, sometimes they're nuts. Susan Nolan, I saw a rodeo on TV where a bucked off cowboy had his head stepped on by the bucking bronc, and it killed him instantly. Oh, yeah, that does happen. One time it was a rodeo where this guy, he was riding a bull, and the bull threw him off and then ran him down and put both his front paws right into the guy's chest, crushed right through it. Done. They're powerful animals. You're no match for them. Don't piss them off. Hey, Thompson, well, that medical examiner needs to watch the VHS series When Animals Attack. Well, you got to understand the examiner's not saying they don't. It's just saying there's no evidence a horse did it. See, that's the problem. You got to have evidence that the horse did it. And I don't know, like they thought, Nodak, a horse was Christopher Reeve's kryptonite. Yeah. God, talk about your freak accidents, It's just his hands got stuck in the reins. Had he been able to keep his hands free and he would have blooded his fall, he probably would have been all right. That's not how it turned out. Oh, jeez. Group home director known as Pastor Pete assaulted 77-year-old woman for talking excessively. Well, he seems happy about it in his mugshot, Look, she just wouldn't shut up, Anyway, the operator of a Florida group home was arrested for allegedly assaulting a 77-year-old woman after he became enraged because he felt she was talking excessively. Pedro Custodio stands accused of battery on a person 65 or older. A probable cause affidavit said the Lake County Sheriff's Office responded to the group home in Umatilla on July 8th after the victim called to make a complaint against Custodio, who lives at and operates the residence. The woman told police she lived in the halfway house with multiple people. Per the complaint, the victim said on July 2nd, she was talking with Custodio in his bedroom when he became upset with her for talking excessively. Custodio allegedly became angry and grabbed the victim by her thigh before forcefully pushing her down to the floor. She showed deputies a bruise on her upper left thigh she allegedly sustained at the hands of Custodio. The victim also detailed another alleged incident that occurred after she told Custodio she needed to take a shower. She began gathering her things, but Custodio got mad and pushed her to the ground because she was not moving fast enough. Boy, geez, this guy's got a problem with her. Cops arrested Custodio and took him to the Lake County Jail, where he has since posted a $10,000 bond. He pled not guilty. He did not have a lawyer listed in court documents. Well, he better get one. Custodio, known as Pastor Pete, has found himself in legal hot water before. A decade ago, he was found not guilty of sexually battering a woman at his homeless shelter. In 2022, he was accused of throwing a box cutter at a man through a car window. In that case, he was convicted and sentenced to probation. I guess there wasn't enough evidence in the sexual abuse thing, but I sense a pattern here. I sense a pattern. Seems like he just wants to collect these people under the guise of being helpful and wanted to take care of them, when really they're easy targets for him to take advantage of. Why Pastor Pete? If it's just a nickname, does he just give sermons all the time because he always wanted to be a pastor, but he's too much of a criminal not to actually do it? And boy, in his bedroom this takes place, and he's throwing her to the floor, grabbing her thigh. Oh, well. That's it for Pedro Custodio. Whew. Whew. Getting stepped on. Horses are dangerous. Yeah, they are. Hello, getting stepped on the head by a horse is like getting stepped on the head by a Volkswagen. Hey, Thompson, there is a reasonable doubt. Hey, Thompson, shut the fuck up when you are over 70. Oh, the guy upset that she's talking excessively, like that's his reason. Yeah. You think that was it? Yeah. I mean, the woman's not accusing of anything, but anti-derivative jail talking excessively. So she was a YouTuber. Yeah. Look, the lady's trying to earn an income on super chats, and this asshole is just jealous. Hey, Thompson. Oh, in Florida, he is fucked. You look at someone 65 wrong, and it's a felony. Oh, under 65 wrong? You mean, greater than 65, right? Yeah. Hey, Thompson, the elderly protection laws in Florida are the reason they moved there. Well, that and the weather. But then here come the hurricanes. Oh, boy. Anti-derivative jail. Florida man strikes again. He always does. And he struck her several times, apparently. Hey, Thompson, old people are annoying. Yeah, well, he's running an old folks home type place. All right, it's for homeless and other stuff, but still. He's like, it's a burden. Well, then you're not the guy for this, Pastor Pete. Pastor Pete. Pell Ben Stiller and Happy Gilmore. Susan Dolan, a friend of mine's ex-boyfriend, got kicked in the chest by his horse. He went to a hospital claiming he'd been attacked by some guy. His bruise was hoof-shaped, and he wound in jail for fraudulent claim. Oh, because he wanted to blame it on some other guy and was trying to get him in trouble for it and stuff. Yep. Did the horse get arrested? But still, yeah, the hoof print, huh? Yeah, see? They didn't find that on this woman. No, they didn't. No, like maybe a misprint. Bastard Pete. Well, that's it now. Mr. Custodio. Pedro Custodio, Mr. Custodio. Oh, this one I think I'll want to, well, I could do it now. I was going to end on it, but this is an update. Man, cops to tool time in Lowe's display shed. So he's going to accept his fate. With no defense at hand, a man has pled guilty to an obscenity charge for pleasuring himself inside a storage shed for sale at a Lowe's in Louisiana. Hey, that's my state. George Caliavis, 66, copped to the felony charge during a district court hearing. Calavas, I don't know, was locked up on $15,000 bail after his May 11th arrest at the Lowe's outlet in Slidell, a city in St. Tammany Parish. He was released from custody following his July 14th guilty plea. On my birthday, he decided, all right, I did it. I'm guilty. As detailed in a Slidell Police Department report, cops responded to the home improvement store upon receiving a 911 call from a store manager about a male subject naked inside a shed for sale in the Lowe's parking lot. During a canvass of the storage sheds, Officer Brian LeBlanc discovered Calavas lying in a supine position on the floor of the shed beneath the window. Calavas' pants and underwear were at his ankles, and he was using his left hand to touch his exposed penis. Completing the picture, LeBlanc noted that there was an open tub of Vaseline petroleum jelly to the immediate left of Calavas's person. Calavas was watching an unknown video on his cellular phone, and he had headphones in his ears. After being handcuffed and read his rights, Calavas advised that he had been jacking off inside the enclosure, one of several sheds Lowe's had on display for sale. While customers are free to browse the sheds, Calavas had no reasonable expectation of privacy inside the subject shed, LeBlanc reported. Ah, boy, that's embarrassing. But, of course, he couldn't hear the officers saying, hey, stop that. But, you know, it had a window, stupid. Yeah. As I recall, in earlier reporting on this, was that Calavas, he's not from Louisiana. I forget which state he's originally from. But he lives in one of those sheds in his home state. And he saw this on the lot at Lowe's, and it reminded him of home. So he felt comfortable enough in there, you know, to take care of himself, because he does it all the time at home. So he thought, hey, what's the big deal? But again, to the letter of the law, not a reasonable assumption of privacy. No. Hey, Thompson, I got a mom-in-law. She is in need of Pastor Pete type situation. Good Lord, that bad, huh? Hey, Thompson, what are you supposed to do in a storage shed? I call it the whack shack. Well, that's what Calavas thought. Hey, Thompson, taking that whack shack for a test drive. Hey, Thompson, note to self, no headphones in the whack shack. Well, certainly not there in the parking lot, you know. What if someone else was like, that looks about the right size I need for my stuff in the bag. Let me take a look. I'll open them. Oh, shit! Watching an unknown video, huh? What do you want to guess? Yeah. Was it a solo girl? Was it a girl getting reamed out by some dude? Was it a three-way? Was it girl? Oh my goodness, the possibilities are endless. Sadly, he was interrupted, Okay, yeah, this will work. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go again. And now for the shower. Ad exec arrested for golden shower. In the Florida version of a golden shower, a New York advertising executive was arrested early Saturday for allegedly urinating from a rooftop bar onto several victims below. Matthew Day, 30, was busted for disorderly conduct, to say the least, following a 1:30 a.m. incident at The Landing, a downtown St. Petersburg night spot that describes itself as an elevated hangout balcony bar. Cops charged that Day entered the rooftop bar, pulled his penis out of his shorts, and urinated from the balcony onto the sidewalk below. Several passersby were struck with urine. Security spotted Day relieving himself and escorted the defendant out of the bar into police custody. A criminal complaint, which noted that Day showed an indication of alcohol influence, well, both in his idiot actions and in the level of fluid to relieve, does not address if victims peed upon received medical treatment. Oh, yeah, they might want to get checked out. What if this guy's got any number of things, Day was arrested and charged for disorderly conduct on the premises of a licensed establishment, a misdemeanor. He was released from the county jail on $500 bond. Yeah, you might want to make that a little higher, Day, a Penn State grad, is a co-founder of Ribeye Media and the firm's head of client success, according to LinkedIn and other online listings. Founded in 2023, Ribeye offers cutting-edge programmatic advertising solutions tailored for the local media marketplace. Well, Day did not respond to a message seeking comment that was sent via his firm's website. So I'm not sure if pissing on patrons at a bar, even from on high, is a good way to spread your company's campaign to the market. So, well, what a pisser, What a pisser. Well, after all that sick, sad crap, always want to end on a high note, So I saved that one for last. But first, A. Thompson, he didn't hurt anyone. Oh, you mean the Whack Shack guy? No, Nick, wonder if the tin roof was rusted. Whack Shack baby. No, it was brand new. It was on the lot. I mean, I would guess. I mean, good Lord, they got one old rusted piece of crap. It's on a discount. You want it? Hey, Thompson, it was squirrel and chipmunk videos. Oh, yeah, probably. Pellel, 2 girls building a fence with tools from the shed. Yeah. Pellel, when it comes to the yellow, he thought YOLO. Hey, Thompson, most expensive pee he's ever taken. I guarantee it. And he's probably going to lose his whole company and all that stuff. Well, even drunk, he thought it would be a good idea. Man, I need to piss. But the restroom is downstairs. I'll just piss here. That's what I'll do. But then again, it's a short article. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe those people deserved it. Maybe they pissed him off. You never know. Well, I mean, you never know until you do. couple arrested for mile-high sex act. Oh, that's too bad. A married Connecticut couple is facing felony charges after joining the Mile High Club on a JetBlue flight. Trista Riley, 42, and Christopher Arnold, 43, were traveling to Sarasota, Florida from John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York when they allegedly engaged in lewd and lascivious exhibition. A flight attendant told cops that several youths and their mother had witnessed Riley and Arnold performing in sexual activity on board JetBlue Flight 163 JFK to SRQ. When Brian Zepp, the JetBlue attendant, walked to Miss Riley's seating area in the 25th row, he witnessed her making up and down movements with her head while she was face down on Mr. Arnold's lap. And Brian said, "Ew!" Cops noted that further investigation indicated that Miss Riley was seen by two underage youths performing oral flax and jerking off Mr. Arnold. Aren't they supposed to go and squeeze into the restroom and try to do it there, you know? But it's JetBlue, so it's probably pretty tight in there. And she looks pretty skinny, but he's probably a big dude, so yeah, it probably wouldn't work. Anyway, when Brian Zepp, yeah, okay, we did that one. Further investigation area seen by two underage youths. In a witness statement, a female passenger who was flying with her two children said that during takeoff, she spotted a woman later identified as Riley jerking off her male companion. She noticed that my two kids was watching them and they didn't stop. Ew, God, she looked at the kid. Oh, man. After that, she was laying on him like she was doing oral flags. Riley, a medical receptionist, and Arnold, a general contractor, were arrested upon the July 19th flight's arrival in Sarasota. The duo, who live in Danbury, Connecticut, were booked into the county jail from which they were freed Monday. Prosecutors agreed to the couple's release on their own recognizance while they investigate jurisdiction. The couple is scheduled to be arraigned later. According to court records, Riley does not have a criminal record. She does now. Arnold, who was convicted of pot possession in 2004, was arrested earlier this year in Connecticut for assault, disorderly conduct. He probably got drunk and hit some dude or something like that. Ironically, some guy probably hit on his wife and said, "Hey, you want to join the Mile High Club? I'm a pilot," you know. And that probably was what put the bug in their ear for Mile High Club. Yeah. Well, of course, it's all silly and funny until you hear the part about the kids were watching and she looked over at them and kept going. Oof. So, but still, see, ended on a high note. Giggle, tee hee. All right, a little more chat, then we call it a night, you know? Yeah. Pell again, 21 is young, but that's the time to make mistakes. 21 sounds better than 52. Oh yeah. Hey, Thompson. Hell yeah, Mile High Club. Pell, yeah, Connecticut peeps repping. Pell, I bet he JetBlue his load. Yeah, that's another thing. But then again, wouldn't be the first time for the, yeah. Hey, Thompson, air travel isn't what it was when I was a kid. Oh, that sort of thing probably did happen, you know. Once in a while. Hey, Thompson, Hey, no, Dak, she was giving him an Arnold Palmer. Yes, I would say so. Hey, Thompson, BJ's costs men a lot of money. I know a blowjob that cost a guy a house in New Jersey. It was like $870,000. What the fuck? You mean like multiple blowjobs for years, right? He just kept going to a prostitute's or a massage parlor, you know? And I just couldn't stop. Pell, nothing to back this observation up, but he looks like the kind that always in some kind of trouble. You mean the husband? Well, he does have a record, and now his wife does too. He says, "Honey, it's time you get one too. You know, we got to be more alike. You know." And then now they are. Isn't that sweet? People are stupid, you know. They just are. What are you going to do? Well, I mean, you can stop being stupid. You ever think of that? Why don't you just stop being stupid? But that's the problem with stupid people. They're stupid, so they can't stop. That's what they are. What are you going to do? I don't know. But anyway, there we go. That's a lot of Nailsin news. What did I do? Over 2 hours. So, yeah, that's a good run. Nailsin news. News. Come on. There you are. A. Thompson says, when his wife found out about the blowjob, she divorced him and took that. Oh, well, yes, of course. I forgot, of course. Yeah, that is the price. Probably the initial price wasn't that much, though. Wow, this is great. Then she found out. Yeah. Oh, well. Hopefully it was a really great handy, you know. Give the man a hand, you know. Well, he got it. All right, there we go. That's Nailsin News. We'll do it again sometime soon, and I'll visit with you then. Until next time, probably check me out tomorrow night on it's compoundcensored.tv on Jokes Kill, where Pat and I will give commentary and analyses of Compound Censored shows live. Won't that be fun? Yeah. Hey, Thompson, when are you going to see Fan 4? I'm not sure. Hopefully soon, but I can't always be sure of that because my schedule is tight. Anyway, thanks for showing up, everybody. Have a good night, and thanks to everyone who super tipped and super chatted. Well, not super chatted. I don't have those yet. Rumble rants. Yeah, thanks for the Rumble rants. So there you go. Again, have a good night.
Killers, killing it. Nailsin News. Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing. Nailsin News. Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News. News.